Would you all give this beautiful family a huge round of applause? You can do better than that!
Thank you. And first of all, thank you everyone for coming, some from far, some from around the corner. We're so fortunate to count all of you as our good friends and family. And for this Shehechianu moment, I really want to thank you. The rabbis have taught us that when at least three people get together, it's an opportunity to study a little bit of Torah. So I'd like to start with a very short drash, a short teaching, and connect it somewhat with Steve. So as many of you know, we just celebrated the holiday of Purim. Purim teaches us a number of things: not to look at superficial aspects, to look for things that may be hidden. Things aren't as they appear. Things are not what we expect. For example, one might expect that a queen would go to a royal banquet when asked. We all know that's not what happened. One might expect that a nice Jewish girl, Hadassah, many of us know her as Queen Esther, would marry a Jew. But we know that's not what happened. One might expect that a book in the Bible, the book of Esther that we read on the holiday of Purim, should have God's name mentioned in it. But God's name is not mentioned even once in the entire book. Things are not what we always expect. There are many instances in the Purim story that help us look beyond initial expectations. Some of us see God's hand throughout the book of Esther and throughout history. Some of us see God giving us the inner strength and courage to go beyond expectations. It is the divine within each of us to go beyond expectations and to do good. So too with Steven, who I call Shlomo. Growing up in poverty, one might expect Steve to be only interested in making a buck, but that's not what happened. Steve has done very well and amply provided for our family, but his professional work has always focused on doing good and helping others. He has done well by doing good. For example, in his work at federations and Jewish organizations, he's really helped transform our Jewish community. He's conducted surveys and research studies, strategic plans that have really shaped communities' agendas and priorities. He's incubated programs around the country, such as Partnership 2000, it's now known as Partnership Partnership Together, that twins communities in America with communities in Israel, creating strong bonds between the diaspora and Israel. At Federation, UGA, and USCJ, his fundraising has helped facilitate the building of community campuses and endowments in Jewish education, leaving tangible legacies of his work and vision. One might expect that Steven, as a committed Jew, would work only in the Jewish community where he started his career. But that's not what has happened. He sees the importance of making a difference in the general community, to reach out to the underserved, to help the vulnerable, and work across ethnic, religious, political, and demographic lines to make the world a better place. One might expect Steve to rest on his professional laurels, but he rises to new challenges, such as when the late Dr. Lander's call to create a new type of graduate school of social work. With his phenomenal, hardworking, and creative team, they continually think of new innovations and programs for the school. With such a professional workload, a full professional workload, one might expect Steve to refrain from volunteer activities. but he recently completed a term as president of the New York State Deans Association, and he engages in many other volunteer roles. Being abandoned by his father at a very young age, one might expect that marriage and fatherhood may be a challenge for Steven. But I thank God every day for meeting my Shlomo, and our children couldn't ask for a more devoted, nurturing, supportive, and loving father. Steve, you go beyond expectations, and we love you. Now, you may think you know Steve. If those of you who have seen him teach or occasionally give a drash to our Torah here, you know that Steve's style is never purely frontal, that he's very interactive. So we thought tonight we would be a little interactive too. We want to know who knows Steven Huberman. The one prize for everyone will be dessert. Yell out your answers, and I'll start. Where did Steve work during college? You have 4 choices. So here are all the choices first. Head Start, Open House, Temple University Library, or the Department of Social Services of the City of Philadelphia. Anybody know? One would think.
The library.
All the above, knowing Steve could very well be possible. It was Open House, which was a social service agency. All right, now get your calculators ready. How many countries has Steve visited? And name them.
New Jersey. Which planet?
Give a round number.
Israel.
Israel? Australia? Oh,
Italy.
Australia. Oh, no, we have Australia. Italy. Canada.
Mexico.
Mexico. Greece. Turkey. Bob knows, he went with us there. Depending on how one counts, and I think we didn't put in Italy actually, it's either 21 or 23. Now, why? It's not just my memory. It's the fact which is going, but it's because 2 of the countries that he's visited are now under different auspices. So he went to the Sinai Desert when Israel still had jurisdiction over that, so now it's Egypt. And he visited Kiev when it was still in the Soviet Union. So 21 or 23 countries. All right, next.
In college, what club did Steven chair? We have some choices. The official Hillel napping team, chess, debate, or Soviet Jewry Club?
Soviet Jewry.
It was debate. For which Philadelphia
You know, I don't
city
remember the answers to any of these. Yes, Steve.
For which Philadelphia City Department did Steven work for during college? Was it the fire department, the Department of Housing, the police department, or finance department? It was the police department.
Okay, so where did my parents meet? Here are the options. Inside a bar, do they meet outside of a synagogue, or do they meet at a bus stop in Yerushalayim?
Bus stop in Yerushalayim.
Close. It was in Jerusalem, but it was outside of a synagogue.
The Hebrew way Knesset is Hebrew.
So, where did Steven and Frida go on their honeymoon? What's that?
I went with Elliot to sign.
There's no choice.
No choices. Where'd they go?
Puerto Rico.
They didn't go.
Philadelphia.
So they did. They actually went to Florida. They went to Miami, to Disneyland, and to Cape Canaveral.
Which does Steven prefer? The Beatles or the Rolling Stones? It is the Beatles. Elvis or Motown? Motown it is. Classical or opera? That is correct. Four Seasons or the Beach Boys?
Four Seasons.
Hurrah! With which famous sports star did Steven appear on TV? Okay, you have four choices. Michael Jordan, Ron Carew, Sandy Koufax, or Larry Bird? It is Larry Bird.
All right, so we know that my father is a very political person who's met many political individuals over the years.
Most of whom are in jail at this point.
Which potential presidential candidates in 2016 has my father met?
Hillary.
He's going to give it to you.
I'll give some choices. Chris Christie,
Chris Christie.
Rick Perry, Joe Biden, or Mike Huckabee. Could be more than one.
Joe Biden and Chris
Joe
Christie.
Biden? Any guess where he met Joe Biden for a bonus point?
At the White House.
On the Amtrak. And
I tried to get him to go to the school of social work.
the second was Rick Perry on an airplane. Okay, so we've heard a lot about my father's traveling. Which continents has Steven not visited? Antarctica. There's a second.
South America?
Just a second.
South America?
South America. There we go.
Okay, if I can have our helpers. Oh, there's one more question. While I'm asking the last question, if our helpers can give out the song sheets, please. Thank you. Last question is, what is Steven or Shlomo's middle name? It was a trick question. He has none. All right, and in a second, you'll be getting a sheet. The song we're going to sing to him, because again, this is interactive, and Steve's teaching style and his presentation style. We just had the holiday of Purim. And one of the songs is, I'll sing it just the melody with a la-la. La 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 ya la 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 la. Is everybody? You might have to share. Oh, once there was a wonderful man, and Steven Huberman was his name. He has done many amazing things that have brought him so much fame. Raise a glass to Steven Huberman. Raise a glass to Steven Huberman. Raise a glass to Steven Huberman. To you we give a claim. He grew up oh so very poor in the tough streets of North Philly. The neighborhood was dangerous and tough. He couldn't play outside, ride a bike, or be silly. Raise a glass to Steven Huberman. Raise a glass to Steven Huberman. Raise a glass to Steven Huberman. To you we give a claim. At Olney High he was president, a sign of things to come. In high school and college debates he mesmerized everyone. Raise a glass to Steven Huberman. Raise a glass to Steven Huberman. Raise a glass to Steven Huberman. To you we give a claim. At Hebrew Union, a Philly gal whose life he would change. And in your to Steven Huberman. To you we give a claim. At Brandeis he got his PhD while teaching at PU. But when he traded Boston Snow for an LA view, raise a glass to Steven Huberman. Raise a glass to Steven Huberman. Raise a glass to Steven Huberman. To you we give a claim. For his work directing Federation planning, community services, he was often in the news. At UJ and USCJ, he fundraised to help the Jews. Raise a glass to Steven Huberman. Raise a glass to Steven Huberman. Raise a glass to Steven Huberman. To you we give a claim. Dr. Lander gave him a call to found a brand new school. Steve DeSantis, the creator of our hard-working team, who also are so cool. Raise a glass to Steven Huberman. Raise a glass to Steven Huberman. Raise a glass to Steven Huberman. To you we give a claim. In addition to all his many roles, the ones we love the best, as a friend, husband, colleague, dad, he's way above the